He's looking horrified. Maybe it's about that, or maybe it's about these reports in the Wall Street Journal reporting that Donald Trump Jr. has met with Russia allies in Paris last month, Dipti.
That's right. It was a meeting at the Ritz Hotel, no less, organized by Fabien Bossard. His wife, Randa Kassis, was born in Syria, and she's the leader of a pro-Kremlin Syrian group. Now, the couple run a think tank and basically advocate the idea that the Syrian war needs to end with the help of Russia and its ally, Syrian President Bashar al-Assad. Trump's team have sort of tried to downplay the whole situation, but they did confirm Donald Trump Jr.'s presence at the meeting. And it's raising a lot of eyebrows, mainly for two reasons. Because, first of all, it shows once again just how involved Trump's children are and will be during his presidency. And secondly, it also is likely to heighten focus on Donald Trump's sort of desire to have closer ties with Russia.
And the papers are also reacting quite a lot to Donald Trump's latest picks.
Well, let's start with Politico and this Dirty Dancing-inspired headline. Will Nikki Haley put the U.S. in Russia's corner? Haley is going to be Trump's ambassador to the UN, his first female pick. Now, Politico reports that she has a good reputation for being civil, level-headed, but she has little foreign policy experience. And in this post, I quote from Politico, she will be tested as she's never been tested before on urgent matters of life or death. So many see her appointment really as an extension of Trump or an attempt to reinforce Trump's desire to work more closely with Russia.
So the other big announcement then is Betsy DeVos, isn't it? A billionaire Republican donor. She's going to be in charge of education. Another
controversial pick, mainly because of her family ties. The New York blog Heavy says DeVos's husband is heir to a $5 billion throne. Her brother is a former U.S. Navy SEAL. His name is Eric Prince, who infamously founded Blackwater, which was a private military contractor that, among other things, killed 17 civilians in Iraq in 2007 and strained ties between Iraq and the U.S. Now, there are fears that Trump could gut public education with DeVos's appointment. That's what Slate, the website, says. They report that she's a big advocate of what they call charter schools, that is, private schools partially funded by the public sector, which, of course, would further widen the gap between public and private education.
Let's take you to the UK now. Britain, Thomas Mayer, found guilty and sentenced to life in prison. This is for killing, of course, the anti-Brexit MP Jo Cox.
Well, it brings to an end a very sad story that really overshadowed the Brexit vote. The racist terrorist who killed Jo Cox will never be freed. That's what The Guardian says on its front page. The jury took just 90 minutes to hand down their verdict. Mayer, who was obsessed with Nazis and white supremacy, shot and stabbed Jo Cox in the days before the Brexit vote. He's been sentenced to life in prison now. The British paper The Telegraph says that police have launched a manhunt for a possible far-right accomplice who supplied the stolen gun that Mayer used. He's been called a white supremacist, racist terrorism. We're sort of seeing that language, a very strong language in the British papers.
Going to talk now about the European Parliament. We talked about it in the programme. The papers are also talking about it. Set to vote to suspend membership negotiations with Turkey today.
One that's sure not to make Erdogan, the Turkish president, Erdogan, happy, as you see in this cartoon by Schneider. The Turkish leader is banging on Europe's door saying, "Let me in, let me in." Now, the European Parliament will vote this Thursday, but more than anything, it's a symbolic, non-binding vote. And as the Turkish daily Hurriyet News says, a decision to freeze negotiations won't change Erdogan's, quote, authoritarian rule, but it will put important pressure on member states. That's what the Hurriyet Daily is saying.
Okay, Erdogan, a bit of a brick wall there. Now, finally, it seems like the Vatican is getting tech-friendly. Now, what they've done is they've just released a new app, in fact, haven't they?
It's being called the Tinder for sinners. That's how it's been dubbed in the press. Cinder is not its name. The real name is much less exciting. It's called the Catholic app.
And quite the same.
But it's been compared to Tinder mainly because it uses the same technology that Tinder uses. Basically, the idea is that users needing a bit of urgent confession time can scroll through their parishes in the area on their smartphone, and the app will direct them to their nearest Mass and confession service. The idea was apparently inspired by the Pope himself, who asked church leaders to get imaginative about what to do in the Holy Year of Mercy.
Catholic Church being dragged into the next century. On France 24.